What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In this episode we're going to be installing some cabinets in the van, so stay tuned. This is how the cabinets come from HD Supply. You have to assemble them yourself, which is actually good because that'll allow me to alter the backs of the cabinets so that they fit the contour of the wall. The first wall cabinet I'm going to put right here. What I need to do is make a little template matching the contour of the wall and the ceiling. I have some cardboard right here and I'll try and scribe that, get it as close as I can. So I have this just loosely sitting in place. These aren't attached yet. And what we're going to do is actually completely throw away the back panel here. And then we'll take our template and we'll have to match this side piece to the template. And then we'll also, once we have the side piece cut, then we can cut off whatever we need to cut off on the bottom and top panel. And then we're going to attach the whole thing together with 1x3s here, which will actually make it stronger than it would have been without it. Alright, let's see how we did. All the seams are pretty tight. So now we should be able to transfer this onto the other piece. This one's not going to be as important to be tight because you won't be able to see this seam. So we can just transfer it identically onto the other one. Okay, now that I've got the two side pieces cut the way I need them, I can put them back on the cabinet here. You can see here the bottom piece is good, but the top piece we're going to need to make a straight line straight across, take that much off. You can do that with the table saw. Okay, you can see that worked. So now I can attach everything. I'll get some wood glue to add some extra strength. So you're just going to cut two 1x3s for the top and bottom. I'm going to secure these with some Craig screws, some glue, and a couple finish nails as well. I've pre-drilled a couple holes right where the studs are on the wall, so that when I lift this up here, I'll be ready to go. Make sure the seams are good there. That looks good and tight. Get this first one in. Make sure you're putting these screws into the studs, not just into the MDF. So there you go, first one's in. I do have an end panel for it, which I'll use the template to cut, and then that'll get glued on. And then there'll be a little piece of crown molding here to cover that. That's it. Got the end panel cut shape, and I put a bit of silicone on here. This should fit right in. Nice and snug. There you go. Originally I wanted to put another cabinet over here, but I think it'll be too little headroom when you're laying on the bed. So this thing's about 6 inches the size of the mattress, and if the cabinet comes down to right around there, it's going to be pretty tight, and then it comes out and up. For now I'm going to put one right here. I've cut the crown molding away, and I've already got the cabinet cut, so I should be able to pop this one right in. So I have this sink base cabinet in place now, and this is where it's going to go. I have another 18-inch cabinet that's going to go there. So I'll put it there, but I'm just laying everything out, and it's just barely enough room that it's comfortable standing right here, cooking and everything, and walking past. And then I have an end panel for this. I think just to make a little bit extra room right here, I'm going to take a pencil line and mark the wall. And I'll remove the wall from that line down. That way I can push the cabinets about an inch in. That fits in a little bit better now. There's a little bit of extra space here. I had the notch for that outlet right there. That'll be for the cooktop. And for this cabinet, I just need the notch a little bit for this little bump out here. And also so these wires can come through. I have the cabinets in place now where they're going to go. Nothing's screwed in yet, but there's like a 1/4 inch gap here. So I think the best solution was to just purchase another one of the end panels like I have here. And that'll take care of the gap here. So I'm going to cut that down to size and attach it here, and then get screwed. I had a little bit of camera trouble, so I'll show you how I installed this cabinet. Kind of lost the file by accident. So I have the end panel mounted here, and what I did was, at first I just put 2 screws in here just to hold the cabinet in place, and while the cabinet was in place I came over here. I screwed this piece of wood down into the floor. I took a pencil line and I marked where the cabinet was, and then I removed the cabinet, screwed this piece of wood down into the floor, and then once that was in, I put the cabinet back in where it goes, and then I countersunk 3 screw holes here, held the cabinet in that way, and then it's also being held in. I measured here, I made sure there were no wires at the moment when I put this in. These are self-drilling metal screws, 2-inch. I put 2 of those there. I've got 3 screws here holding it in place. And then there's another screw down at the bottom there holding it into the wood. I can give you a view from the back with the end panel. So that's what it looks like from the back. So the other thing you missed when I lost that file was the wiring of this outlet here. And this top switch is for the lights. The front 5 lights are on this switch, and the bottom is for the water pump. That was some pretty simple wiring. I used this shallow box here as opposed to the regular deep boxes, just so it doesn't interfere with the sink. The shallow boxes are sufficient for these little DC wires. These are the regular deep boxes. They come out almost 3 inches, so it's not really good near the sink there. Probably gonna have the sink coming down here. So this works much better for this space. They sell those at Home Depot. So now we need to install some latches to keep the doors from opening while we're driving. These are the latches I like to use. They're these push button latches. So what I like to do is make one of these little templates. So once I take my measurement the first time, I could drill through the same hole and do all the doors a lot quicker than measuring each door. Before you make your template, you need to make sure the doors are perfectly lined up. If you drill the hole and then you move the door after, the latch is not gonna line up with the little metal thing here. This is the bit you're going to want to use. I'll put a link for this in the description. It's a 3/4 inch and it gives it a nice snug fit. Once you have this hole drilled, you just need to mount this little plate here, and you want this flush with the edge of the cabinet, and then just put 2 screws through it right there. So this part just goes through the back of the cabinet like that, and then the 2 supplied screws screw in right through there. Alright, check it out, cabinets are done. So these are the latches, like that, opens up. Now it's locked in, doesn't jiggle at all. Everything's working great.